welcome. Now I am going to talk about something more obscure. Alex Kidd is a video game character who became popular in the late 1980s, developed to become Sega's mascot, overtaking Opa Opa from Fantasy Zone, and made appearances on 3 video game systems, which are the arcade, Sega Master System, and Sega Genesis. However, Alex could not match the same amount of popularity Mario of Nintendo has, so Sega decided to develop a new character called Sonic the Hedgehog to replace him as a company's mascot. So I'm gonna look back at the 6 Alex Kidd games to find out which one is the best. And be noted that I'll be using a different rating system. A+ is the highest and F is the lowest. Let's jump right into it.
After spending 7 years on Mount Eternal to study the ancient art of breaking rocks into pieces, Alex Kidd decides to go back to his homeland called Reduction, and learns that it has been taken over by Janken the Great. Not only should he stop him, but he must also rescue his brother Egil. The gameplay has you control Alex, who can use his fists to break objects to collect money, to be able to buy items such as vehicles and accessories, which will give him access to different paths and different abilities. You also get to encounter some bosses whom you must defeat in rock, papers, and scissors before engaging in a battle. I do like the colorful 8-bit graphics of the game and some features that differentiate it from the Super Mario games. The music of the levels are pleasant enough for the ears and the controls work just fine. Overall, it's a decent platform game and a good start to the franchise. The game has you play Alex and Stella to search for the 12 zodiac signs, so the goal is to run through each levels while avoiding obstacles and destroying enemies to get the 6 miracle balls, then travel to space and defeat the evil Ziggurat. The notable difference of the game from Miracle World is that you cannot punch your enemies, so you could only rely on your skills and power-ups to get past them. You can grab these power-ups, which will give you the ability to shoot your enemies, run faster, jump higher, and extend the time to finish the level. The colorful graphics for the 2 versions of the game look attractive. The soundtracks sound best as it could be. The arcade version is so difficult that I died too many times because of the limited number of lives, the obstacles which are hard or impossible to avoid, and the time limit which made things worse. To make it to the end, you must have patience and a lot of quarters. The Master System version had more lives and is much easier and more fun to play, so I definitely recommend this version more. The game could be good for mobile devices, don't you think? The game is the only one out of the 6 games to be exclusive in Japan and requires the paddle control for the console it was manufactured to work with, called Mark III, which is the Japanese counterpart of the Master System. Alex has to find the exits, which will take you to the different courses while avoiding the other bikers who might push you off, as well as avoiding obstacles and landing safely after jumps from the ramps. The game had the potential to be good. While I had a little bit of fun playing it, the punishment you get for exploring the levels longer was a letdown. How about being able to pick a character to play, choose a course, and have the characters race across the finish line? That would have been much better. The story is pretty basic. Alex finds out that there's a new arcade in town, so he and his friends decide to check it out. But the only problem is, they don't know the location, so it's up to Alex to find the 8 pieces of the map hidden inside the castle. I didn't know where to go next, and since the game didn't give any instructions, I had no choice but to look for an online walkthrough. Most gamers probably gave up and weren't able to see what the rest of the game looked like. So after I got all the pieces of the map, I left the castle And finally, I got to play the side-scrolling levels, which were so difficult thanks to the swap controls. And what I mean by swap controls is that the button that should be for jumping is attack, and the button that should be for attacking is jump. It took me a little while to get used to the controls, and I even had to plan a strategy to make it to the end. Though you can resume where you left off, you need to enter a password instead of starting the game right away. If you restarted the console, which is disappointing. After beating it, I don't want to go through it all again. I'm moving on. Alex heard a rumor that his long-lost father, King Thor. No, not him. Like I was saying, King Thor is alive and is somewhere on the planet Paper Rock, so he goes on a quest to find him. While the gameplay is similar to Miracle World, it isn't as polished. Every time Alex stops moving, he slips shortly. So for example, the landings from the jumps I make from one platform to another isn't always successful, because he can fall back to the lower surface. You also have to be careful when equipped with a specific power-up not to hit some blocks you need to reach and destroy the treasure chests to get money and to access other paths. To get an item or a vehicle, all you have to do is go inside a structure you see and win the rock, paper and scissors challenge as long as you have enough money for a bet. The graphics, music, and level designs could be better, though the game had some charm on it, and you are able to unselect items or vehicles to prevent these from being wasted. These two had the potential and would have made a good successor to Miracle World. The Dark Ninja, who was banished 10,000 years ago, returns to rule the Miracle World and kidnaps Alex Kidd's girlfriend. Then a god enters his body to give him the skills of a ninja master to fight against the villains and rescue the girl. This is the third game to include a life bar, which the Miracle World and Enchanted Castle should have had, and you can increase it by breaking treasure chests and collecting hearts kept inside. But that's not all, you can also get different weapons to use against the enemies, and if you're lucky, you'll have the chance to obtain the tornado icon to transform to a tornado, which will release swirling mini tornadoes to suck in and destroy your enemies and be able to cross areas you wouldn't normally be able to on foot. You can also use the street posts or ropes for Alex to turn him into a flying fireball and perform a wall-to-wall jump. The boss fights are surprisingly easy as long as you know the pattern of their attacks. The game could have been longer, since 4 rounds aren't enough.
Alex Kidd deserved better, and he could have had more video games released, just like the other forgotten characters under Sega. I would even like to see a video game of him in 3D, and we don't know if we're ever gonna get one. Oh well. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys on my next video. Bukas up.